Good evening. Welcome to North West Tonight with Annabelle Tiffin. Our top story. A Lancashire man who stabbed his wife in the street while she pushed their baby in a pram is found guilty of murder. Habibur Masum stabbed Kulsama actor from Oldham more than 25 times. Also tonight, millions of pounds to fight dementia, with one of the region's universities at the forefront of research. Happy birthday, Blackpool's Bone Shaker. The Grand National roller coaster celebrates 80 years of giving riders bumps and bruises. Making his mark back home, the Isle of Man honours its cycling superhero, the Manx Missile.
And join me here at a very gusty Wirral Country Park. I'll give you the full forecast, hopefully the winds will ease down, and a Barnston birthday celebration coming your way at the end of the programme.
A man has been found guilty of murdering his wife as she pushed their 7-month-old baby son in a pram. Habibur Masum launched a ferocious attack on Kulsama actor from Oldham after following her to Bradford, where she'd been living in a refuge after he'd previously held a knife to her throat. Here's our reporter Emma Glazeby.
Habibur Masum just moments before he murdered his wife on a busy street in Bradford. He confronted her as she pushed their baby in a pram and launched a ferocious attack. Kulsuma actor came to the UK from Bangladesh with Masum, but 2 years later he stabbed her repeatedly outside a shop. The murder was all captured on CCTV. Kulsuma was only 27. The baby was unharmed. Nearby shopkeepers ran to help.
There was 2 women screaming. I think that was her friends. So I rang the 999 up and they told me you need to stop the blood, and I did try to do that. And I think, to be honest, what got me the most is seeing the baby in the push tam, the actual only push tam, going in the police van, and that got me, and I'll never forget that.
I heard screaming noise. I rushed and went over the road. She was lying down by the shop, by the footpath. And that's where I tried to help her, to save her. And but the guy was run away straight away. But what can you say? Little baby, he was there. So what can I say?
Kulsuma actor had been staying in a refuge to escape her husband's violence, jealousy and controlling behaviour. But the court heard he used her phone's location to track her down. Habibur Masum took a photo of the refuge where Kulsuma was staying and sent it to her. Now, arrangements were being made to rehouse her, but Kulsuma was murdered 2 days before she was due to be moved. CCTV showed Habibur Masum on a bus in Bradford before the stabbing and then calmly walking away after the murder. Police started a manhunt and warned people not to approach him. He was eventually arrested after going to Stoke Mandeville Hospital in Buckinghamshire to be treated for lockjaw. When Masum arrived in the UK as a student, he often shared videos like this on YouTube, even posting about building a cot for his baby. But in reality, he was a violent husband who'd held a knife to Kulsuma's throat. That was when a social worker moved her from Oldham to Bradford.
Kulsuma actor, say her name. Kulsuma actor, say her name.
The murder of a young mother on a busy street in Bradford caused shock and revulsion, and a vigil was held in her memory in the city where she tried to find safety. A local MP visited women in the refuge Kulsuma had been staying at.
They were petrified. They were at the time, they were just grief-stricken, because these were women who were also in the refuge, who had lived with her, who were living with her, who knew her experiences, because women often, when they come together and they've come from harrowing circumstances, they bond over that, the shared kind of understanding of domestic violence.
Greater Manchester Police and the West Yorkshire Force have been investigated about contact officers had with Kulsuma before her murder. The Independent Office for Police Conduct has not yet published its findings. Emma Glasby, BBC North West Tonight.
Right, let's get a roundup of some of the day's other news now. And the mother of a teenager who was fatally stabbed on the Isle of Man has paid tribute to her best boy. 14-year-old Christopher McBurney was attacked in Ramsey last month. His funeral was held today. Another 14-year-old has been charged with murder. A Wirral care home has been put into special measures after inspectors found residents were being put at risk, with some not getting proper meals. Arran Court in Ellesmere Port has been ordered to make rapid improvements. Arran Care Limited says it has appointed a new manager and taken immediate action to address the issues. The Cheshire Bands, the 1975, will be headlining the Pyramid Stage at Glastonbury tonight, giving their only concert of the year. The bands, fronted by Matty Healy, have reportedly spent 4 times their festival fee on a specially designed set for the show. And penguin chicks at Blackpool Zoo have been treated to a pedicure as a way of telling them apart. One chick from each pair of newborn Magellanic penguins has had blue nail varnish painted onto their claws so that keepers can keep track of their health and development progress. Students from the University of Manchester have built a Lego model of the iconic Lovell Space Telescope to celebrate Jodrell Bank's 80th anniversary. Using more than 30,000 pieces, the group spent 6 months painstakingly assembling the model, using original blueprints to help design it. Now, over the last couple of weeks, we've been looking at the issue of ageing. One thing that worries a lot of people is developing dementia. The North West has one of the highest rates of the disease in the UK, with lifestyle factors such as obesity, high blood pressure and poor diet playing a part. The good news is that groundbreaking research is now taking place at the University of Manchester, which is sharing a £3.3 million investment, as Lindsay Prosser reports.
Singing still brings Helen joy. She was diagnosed with dementia 13 years ago. Her husband Ray helps to run singing sessions for people living with dementia and their carers.
We sing for an hour and then we get lunch, and it's fabulous. But we all get to sit round and chat, so it's companionship for people who don't normally get out of the house.
Over 92,000 people are living with dementia in the North West, one of the highest rates in the country.
Look at what cell type we're trying to identify.
At Manchester University, researchers are looking at how vascular dementia develops, so they can create new methods of diagnosis and treatment. Their work is funded by the Alzheimer's Society. Ellie's grandma had dementia, and her illness inspired Ellie to apply for a research doctorate here.
It changed her a lot as a person. She declined very quickly. It stripped her personality away. It was quite difficult to watch.
The team at Manchester are looking at how changes in blood flow to the brain can cause dementia to develop.
Understanding more about what causes vascular dementia and some of the comorbidities that affect that. So things like high blood pressure, other lifestyle factors can have an influence.
Ray hopes that the research will bring a breakthrough in treatment, but also wants the stigma of dementia to be removed.
People pull away from someone who's living with dementia, so both that person and the companion end up rather isolated.
I hope that people don't fear ageing as much as we do now. I think there's a lot of unknown about dementia, and we kind of fear that we might get it one day, especially the big genetic component of it. So I hope that we are able to find some answers.
That's the wonder of you.
Lindsay Prosser, BBC North West Tonight.
Well, earlier, Jack Coots came into the studio to speak to me. He's chair of the organisation Dementia Action Liverpool. He first became involved after caring for his own mum, who had Alzheimer's.
Well, the first thing is just to make clear that Alzheimer's is one of the types of dementia. Dementia is like an umbrella term. It's like there's vehicles on the road and they've got 4 wheels and we call them all cars, but you get different types, different sizes, different makes, different styles. And dementia is the same thing. There are over 100 different types of dementia. Alzheimer's being the most common one, vascular being the next common, and the mixture of the two. But there are nearly 100 other ones as well. So people who are living with dementia tell us that it's important that everyone gets to understand it, because for a long time it's been one of those taboo illnesses that people are so afraid of.
Yeah, well, we heard that, didn't we?
Yeah.
That there is this stigma. I mean, we need. How can we get rid of that?
I think understanding is the first thing. I mean, some people think it's something associated with mental illness, when in actual fact it's not. It's a disease of the brain, just the same as any other organ of the body can get a disease. Age is one of the risk factors, but it's not automatic that you get older and you'll get dementia. In fact, you can be younger and get dementia as well. So to separate out those associations with mental illness and associations with ageing in particular, that's one of the things that would be helpful if people recognised in general across society, and then they can relate with people who have the condition in a more normal way.
Lots of people will care for loved ones. It quite often falls on a partner or a child. And sometimes they get forgotten, don't they, the carers?
Absolutely, and it is so important to look after people who are caring for someone with dementia. They are the primary caregiver, irrespective of how much service is being given by public services, and they need looking after themselves as well. Carers can get burnt out through the intensity of the work that they're doing, and they can be isolated as well, so they need support from the wider community. You can find out through organisations like Health Watch. In most areas there'll be like a Live Well directory that we have in Liverpool.
But don't suffer alone.
Certainly not, but there's so much, particularly things that can be done to help people to live well, to keep them in contact with other people, keep their minds working, which helps to stave off the progress of dementia. And of course, if you can keep your mind going, then that can sometimes stop the dementia developing in the first place. Keeping themselves physically active and mentally active, and there's lots and lots of possibilities, there's lots of activities for people to take advantage of.
That's really useful, fascinating stuff, Jack. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
That was Jack Coots from Dementia Action Liverpool speaking to me a little earlier. Right, let's get some more stories making the news this evening. Knowsley has recorded 13 probable cases of the measles, 11 of them children. The number is expected to rise as some are still awaiting test results. A music festival featuring Chesney Hawkes and Sam Ryder has been cancelled due to poor ticket sales. Organisers say refunds will be issued for the event at Accrington Cricket Club in September. And military personnel, veterans and cadets will be able to travel for free across Greater Manchester's bus and tram network this weekend to celebrate Armed Forces Day. You can find out more about those stories and others on bbc.co.uk/local news or on the BBC News app. Here's my favourite story of the evening. Blackpool isn't short of attractions and regularly unveils new state-of-the-art rides at the resort's Pleasure Beach. But an old favourite took the spotlight today when it returned to action after maintenance work at the start of its 90th year in service. It might not be the biggest, fastest or scariest roller coaster, but the Grand National attracts admirers from across the world. So what is its appeal? Well, Phil Cunliffe, who's not normally one for roller coasters, has been to find out.
Here we go, love. All the thrill of the chase. Since 1935, people have been taking delight in the curves and dips of Blackpool's Grand National. It's now the only roller coaster in Britain where you can race against your friends, and it's world famous. These enthusiasts have come all the way from Germany. They're on a tour of UK theme parks, and for organiser Stefan, the National is top of their bucket list.
The funniest part, what I always like, is the airtime, right? So when it pulls you out of your seat, you feel like you're flying, and that's so cool. It's insane, and we love that.
Now Grade 2 listed, the Grand National is a bone shaker. Huge bits of it are made from wood, yet it's lost none of its pulling power.
Great, it's awesome. It feels a bit shaky, but love it.
Amazing ride.
It was awesome. It hurts a little bit, but it's good.
It's painful, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was fun. The dueling, all this fun. I liked it a lot.
I love wooden roller coaster.
It was amazing. Definitely worth coming here.
Stephen has been a fan of the Grand National since the 1970s, when he came to Blackpool as a child on holiday.
I rode it 180 times last year. I live in South London, so it's a 500-mile round trip to get here. So when I'm here, I tend to ride it as much as I can, as it's my favourite. I did 37 in one day, and I wasn't even trying too hard.
Well, I haven't been on a roller coaster since 1986. Today was the day to finally break that spell.
I feel like a man who's going to the scaffold for his execution.
You said you liked it.
It's me. Whoa! 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 Oh! The G-force on that is incredible. Whoa! Oh! 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 Thank the Lord we've made it in one piece. That was amazing, I have to say. It was invigorating.
Andy, it's all about thrills. That was a thrill.
It is a thrilling ride, it is. And you think 90 years on to still be a thrilling ride, it's just a brilliant thing.
It is a bit rickety though, isn't it, compared to, say, some of the other modern...
Rickety is one word. The word I'd use is organic. So a wooden coaster has a really organic feel compared to a steel coaster, and so that's part of the appeal of the ride, I think.
So there you are. I'm a convert to the Grand National fan club, and no doubt many more will continue to fall for its charms in the future. Phil Cunliffe, BBC North West Tonight, Blackpool Pleasure Beach.
He did say organic, didn't he?
I think so.
It was. Yeah, I have been on it once, and I don't think I reacted quite as badly as Phil.
I don't think anybody's ever reacted quite as badly as Phil.
I mean, it's quite scary, but it's G-force. I banged my chin on my son's head. That's all I remember for it. Roller coaster stories, do you like
that's
them?
so old. G-force wasn't even invented when that was built. I don't know where he's coming from with that. I went on Icon, which is scary.
Where's that?
At Blackpool Pleasure Beach. About 7 years ago for this very programme.
Oh, yeah.
And I went about semi-viral, actually, because my reaction was a bit like Cunliffe, to be fair, but like I said, it's a tougher ride. And at one point, I was the most watched video on the BBC News website, only to be knocked off by Donald Trump a short time later.
I think that is all I can say on that now. I think we've practically covered everything.
OK.
You're here for the sport.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. The Isle of Man's greatest ever athlete, we're saying. He is really, isn't he? He's been honoured today at the place that it all started for him, Mark Cavendish.
Yeah, we are talking about Mark Cavendish. Sir Mark Cavendish, and the accolades even keep coming for him. He's had the cycleway at the National Sports Centre in Douglas officially renamed after him. The Manx Missile started cycling there competitively as a young boy, and as we know, went on to become the most successful stage winner in Tour de France history. Today he was back there and has been speaking to our own Ashley Tracy.
Back where it all began. Only this time, the track where Sir Mark Cavendish started his journey to become one of cycling's greats has been renamed.
And this is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to the remarkable legacy of a young Manx boy who discovered a passion for cycling right here.
It's a perfect little racing circuit for 200 kids every Tuesday night to bomb round. So you got that heart of racing mixed with that community feel, and that's basically what the Isle of Man is. It was great memories for me, like very, very nice, and yeah, I can say it's where I learnt my craft. So.
Cav went on to have a record-breaking career, becoming the most successful stage winner in Tour de France history when he took his 35th victory last year. At the launch of the Sir Mark Cavendish Raceway, he unveiled a new podium, finish line, and a huge piece of artwork featuring the names of school pupils from across the island. And of course, the Manx Missile took to the track, joined by a sea of young cyclists.
And the aim of this project is to inspire the next generation of Manx cyclists to become as successful as their hero.
I've got my t-shirt signed on both sides and I've absolutely loved it. I think he's the best rider in the world and I hope I'll be like him when I'm older.
Any one of these children, you know, if they've got the work ethic and the dream to do something that Mark's done, and of course he did it on the wall here. I dreamt of being like my heroes, and it's true. You know, you can be like heroes.
How many of you enjoy riding a bike? Oh, that's brilliant. I love that. I love that. We'll have to see you racing, eh?
From experience, when you see somebody do it, you know it's attainable, and it gives you that extra spur to do it, you know. And if you have dreams and you work hard, then you can see where you're going to go.
Ashley Tracy, BBC North West Tonight in Douglas.
What a legend. Well, Lee Leopards can close in on second place in Super League tonight with a win at Leeds Rhinos, who currently sit a place below them. This was last weekend as Lee won at Catalan Dragons to continue their impressive recent form. Football's Club World Cup hasn't been getting much attention, I guess, compared to other tournaments, but if nothing else, it seems to be galvanising Manchester City, whose latest win came against Juventus. A former Lancashire student's on the brink of playing in the NBA after being selected at the annual draft. 23-year-old basketball star Amari Williams, who's 7 feet tall, always helps that, spent 2 years at Myerscough College near Preston from the age of 16 before going to university in America and playing the game at a higher level. Now, in round 2 of the draft last night, he was picked by Boston Celtics, apparently the most successful team in NBA history.
I will be honest, it did bring a tear to my eye. It's a massive moment for British basketball, a big moment for me as a coach and for us as a programme here at Myerscough College. Amari becomes only the 6th player to be drafted into the NBA in British basketball history. So a historical moment and one that will obviously last with me for forever. Yeah.
Big that, isn't it? And got to say good luck to... Producers laughing in my ears, big that, isn't it? I don't know why I just said that there. But there you go. Loughborough Lightning versus Manchester Thunder in netball this weekend for a place in the grand final in netball.
Wonderful. Ian, thank you very much. Now it is time for the latest in our 25 in 25 series, when we highlight some of the incredible places and people that make up this wonderful region. We mentioned it last night that Kay was going to be out of the studio today and would be at her next location in the series. So, hello, Kay. Where are you?
Hello, Annabelle. I am here in Wirral Country Park, where, as forecast, it is blowing a gale. I've been here all day, Annabelle. In fact, I've been down the road at Barnston WI with a lovely bunch of ladies celebrating its 100th birthday year. And they are this week's 25 in 25. Here comes the... What does it mean to you, the WI?
I'm just copying what...
Friendship, something to do. Well, I think the friendship's the biggest thing. Don't be alone. We talk, we laugh, we cry, and we make each other better.
I didn't know anybody, and it's been so wonderful. Everybody's been so friendly.
So, Pam, you nominated Barnston WI for 25 in 25. Why?
Why? It's a hall I'm very proud of. It's a beautiful hall filled with beautiful people.
You're the famous Kath that makes the cakes.
I have to make this lemon drizzle. I have been making this lemon drizzle for about 5 years.
We're famous for the Beatles.
You are indeed.
They played here 3 times, the first in 1962, and it was the very first time on this stage here where they played in their suits. They got changed in the green room just at the back there.
So the Beatles literally have been on this stage?
Live, wearing their suits.
That is good.
Good.
You can never stop making that cake.
I wouldn't mind, I don't eat it.
Do you not?
No.
Why?
I don't like it.
I'll just take this back to the office.
There's a stigma attached to WI, knitting and cakes. No, you're way off the mark there. No, we love the music. We get 60s music going. We've got our 100th birthday party coming up in August. That's going to be absolute fantastic.
Barnston WI, come and join us! Oh, Pam, Sam and all the ladies at Barnston WI, thank you so much. I had a lovely morning. And Paul McCartney, if you are watching, they have written to you to invite you to that special 100th celebration on August the 16th, and they'd love to see you there. I'm sure he's watching. Thanks, girls. Right, to the forecast. I've got a bobble in my hair for the first time in TV ever because of the strength of the winds, which are going to ease down. Now, there's a lot of cloud out and about through this weekend. Disappointing at times, a bit damp, but we should see it brighten, and we are still talking about the risk of a potential heat wave as we head through the end of the weekend. Back to this evening though. Now, it's been lovely here at Wirral Country Park. We are seeing cloud increasing though. That does bring with it the risk of a few showery outbreaks of rain. Cumbria, northern parts of Lancashire, outbreaks of rain. All parts windy, gusting around 35 to 40 miles per hour. But it will be a warm night tonight, probably quite uncomfortable to be honest, with temperatures between about 16 and 18 degrees. But it does mean that you're waking up tomorrow morning a warm note. It'll be cloudy. Now, we've got a front laying above us, and that's going to linger for most of the day. So a lot of cloud out and about, still outbreaks of rain for parts of Cumbria, northern parts of Lancashire. Elsewhere, it should be largely dry. And I do think it is going to be parts of Merseyside and Cheshire that are going to see the best of the sunny spells. Don't forget Goosetree, the name on the map this week. Goosetree, Rose Fair tomorrow. I think you're going to be dry and fine, sunny spells here. The highest temperatures, give or take 24 degrees. Now, what is going on then? This front that's lingering, you can see on the pressure chart, it's going to continue to stay with us, slowly drifting northwards as we head through Sunday. High pressure builds from the south. Now that's going to allow the winds to ease down and temperatures continue to rise. So we are looking at the potential of 30 degrees as we head through Monday. Sunday, it's going to be a cloudy start once again. Could still be a little bit damp in places. Brightens up from the south. Top temperatures Sunday around 26 degrees. Annabelle from a windy Wirral Country Park. That's your forecast.
Oh, Kay, thank you very much. Listen, we've just had an email in, Kay, from a Mr. P. McCartney. And he says he never misses the weather. He never misses the programme, always watches your weather.
Yes! Delighted!
You've made
Get
it.
into that party.
Thank you, Kay.
Yeah, Keith Richards just been on for the Rolling Stones to say he likes the sport. Yeah, just on a Wednesday and Friday. So there you go.
And if you believe that, anyway, have a lovely weekend. We'll be back at 10:30. Bye-bye.
Bye.